as we plan to gather with family, there may be some concerns about arising about the needs of our older loved ones. And that's why we asked the gerontologist, Dr. Macie Smith, to join us this morning with a little bit of insight. Dr. Macie, it's so good to see you.
Always a pleasure, Claudia.
Well, let's start off with this first question. What kinds of stats can you share about cognitive decline and the risks that come with that?
Well, we know that age is the #1 risk factor for cognitive decline and cognitive impairment. As you get older, your brain is going to change. It's going to sustain some deterioration. But we know that that doesn't mean that you can't continue to learn and build new neurons and new connections. But when we think about the early signs and the early symptoms of mild cognitive impairment, you're going to see language changes. You're going to see making judgment more difficult. You're going to see trouble tracking conversations and making choices and logical decisions. It doesn't mean that a person is automatically going to experience these things as they get older, but it is a contributing factor, age.
Okay, good to know. And right now, especially this time of year, as we gather with loved ones, are there any things we should be looking for? Like, what would you say are those warning signs of decline?
And many of you have visited your loved ones over the holidays, and you may have noticed that the way they look may not be how they used to look. The way they are showing up and presenting themselves is the antithesis of what they've done prior to. And so they may be looking disheveled, hair may not be combed, there may not be dressed the way they used to. Hygiene is another concern. If their hygiene is a little off, a little different, that may be concerning. If they're having trouble getting around their own home, holding on to things that you've never seen them hold on to, and getting lost in their home and in familiar places. If you see that they're having trouble tracking conversations and forgetting things that you just told them or things that you told them yesterday, it may be cause for concern. It may not be cognitive impairment or dementia. It may also be depression, which depression and dementia, they mimic each other and they look exactly the same on someone who's over the age of 65.
Okay, and thank you for those signs, certainly ones that we can look out for. Now, this can be really stressful for a lot of people, or perhaps just facing the reality of becoming a caretaker. What advice do you have for those people?
When you think that there's a concern, then that is a valid concern. It is a joke to your heart, Claudia, when you made the determination, hey, something is going on with mom or dad. And so when you've identified that there's something going on and you have accepted it, now it's time to get to work. You definitely want to communicate with other family members to see what they've seen, see what their concerns are. They might not have any concerns, but because you don't see the person all day, every day, you're able to pick up on those differences fairly quickly. And then you want to talk to your loved one. You don't want to say things like, do you remember? Is there something going on? You're changing. Have open-ended conversations with them. Don't ask them yes or no questions. Ask them how they're feeling, how their day is going. Tell me about your day. Tell me about how you're feeling. Tell me about what you did earlier today or yesterday. So that way you can get a good gauge of how they're tracking the conversation and how they're communicating using their cognitive ability. And then you want to ask, when is your next doctor's appointment? I may want to go with you so that way I can ensure that we're all hearing the same thing and kind of bounce ideas off of you.
Okay, all good advice, Dr. Macie. Now, this is a tough situation really for anybody, but how can we prepare ourselves and our loved ones for what's ahead?
And I will say, if you are in line to provide care or support to an older adult loved one, you want to go ahead and get your documents in order. That's the healthcare power of attorney. That's the durable power of attorney. Seek assistance from a certified elder attorney to get those documents in place. And then you want to reach out to a professional home care company like a Synergy Home Care. So that way you can already establish a relationship with them and their trained caregivers. You might just bring someone in to provide engagement. You might bring someone in to provide transportation, not necessarily to take care of the person, because there's nothing wrong with them. They can take care of themselves, but you might bring in a companion that can be with them and provide them company and try to be a friend to them. And that way you already have your foot in the door. You already have your loved one connected with someone. So bringing them in to provide a level of care when it's time should be seamless.
Okay, and before I let you go, a great resource is your book. Tell us about that book and where we can get it.
It is a dementia caregiver call to action. It truly is your blueprint to providing care and support for someone with cognitive impairment or full-on dementia. The book is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or everywhere you get your books.
All right, Dr. Macie, thank you so much for joining us today. Great insight.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, you can find more info on Dr. Macie Smith. Just visit her website. That's drmaciesmith.com. You can also follow her on Facebook. Her book, A Dementia Caregiver Called to Action, is available wherever books are sold.